I mean, do you want a blade dancer or a monk, right? Way to start with a dilemma here. I think Moon is getting more votes, so let's do it. Ah, yes. You can probably do the dialogue on your own when you get there. They're essentially just mocking their teacher here. Ooh, battle music! Alright. Eric W. Brown. People. So, in combat, right? Let's see here. I mean, you can do some magic, you can attack. And also, it's all about timing your attacks, right? So, we'll try to attack this, not giant, but certainly enemy crab here. So, if you don't press it right, you just get a regular animation, right? And then if you press at the right time, you get like an extra animation playing to give you feedback that you did it right. So too with blocking. So here, I just took it, and then here you can block, right, to reduce the damage. So it's all about the active gameplay here. So now the both of them are casting spells. So if you break these locks, you'll cancel the spell. So let's see here. If we take Valir here, and so when you attack, you create. We call it live mana, right? There's this latent energy, and you can essentially condense that in a ball that you can absorb in your character to boost your next move, right? So that means that she will be dealing both regular damage and also moon damage, which means that this regular attack will be canceling this spell casting here. Well, I guess also killing the enemy, but I mean, that's another... And so... Alright, so cancel the both of them. Oh, and I mean, yeah, you can also, yeah, let's go with a sun ball, and actually let's charge it too. You can mash to make it a big one. And we win, who would have thought? Getting experience points, leveling up, and then choosing which stat you want to increase, you know, things like that. A bunch of it is what you'd expect, and then hopefully some of it is what you don't expect, but hopefully you accept the proposition, and together we have created entertainment. But you'll be the judges, I guess on August 20 or later. So, the thing about moving around is we wanted a world that you can, you know, touch and feel. It's an RPG, it should be fun to hang out in, right? Not just fun to play, and so you can hike up, jump down, you know, whatever that looks like you can do, you should be able to. You can harvest berries, which gives you tents. They're essentially rations for resting, right? So no items and no using your healing spells outside of combat. What you do is that you gather essentially fruits and mushrooms and whatnot, and then you go to rest, which we can't afford at the moment, but I assume you get the idea. Yeah, so we're just on the beach here, and yes, more berries. And of course, so this is the first area. There's 3 areas in the demo. So there's this outdoor. So for us, it was a vertical slice, right? So we wanted, in development, we wanted to have to tackle all the core atoms that we would eventually need to build the game. So one was, you know, outdoor area where there's, you know, wind on the foliage and things like that. And then also indoor areas. So that's the third area, which is another dungeon. And then there's also a village. And yes, I guess there's chests you can open, and you'll be able to find trinkets that you can equip that sort of change the gameplay a little bit, how you synergize your characters together and the strategy that you want to have in combat. You know, things like, oh, you lose a few hit points, but you get a better outcome from blocking and things like that. So depending on if you want to make the game, I guess, either easier or you're more of a speedrunner type, or you like min-maxing, or you want to, you know, be able to take down that especially special hidden boss by the end of the game. So, you know, like everything is in and out. It got me in a little bit how many times I've been mentioning seamless. So yeah, we wanted it to feel really fluid, you know. So let's dodge the scorpion here. And I think, again, I said it would be short. I think that's all we'll be showing today. Just a quick look, you know, at the game, that the thing is actually alive, and it's actually something you can touch and feel, and very soon too. And so, what we should probably look at the time of day actually. No. Oh, you can also get them like from behind, and you start combat with a boost charge available, right? Let's try a Moonrang here. Oh yeah, wait, you can shield your people. So these essentially nullify one attack each. Let's see here. Is the battle theme any good? Alright, so let's do a Moonrang here. Ah, out of mana, right? I did the shield. So here's the thing with... so it'll actually be SP for skill points instead of AP. So the way it works is that the numbers are really low, right? So that you're never spamming the same move in every round. The thing is you have to pace this with attacks, right? So whenever you're attacking, you're absorbing or you're regenerating 3, right? So now she has 3 instead of 0. And so there's also this idea that you have to use it already, otherwise you're kind of missing out on potential high damage that you could have dealt. I really want to try a Moonring though, so I'll try to spend a turn healing, even though we don't really need it here. 0! Okay, so... Wait, can I actually do this? I mean, it'll be a bit underwhelming on just one target. The Moonrang is made more for when there's multiple enemies, you can bounce it and it hits all targets, but it's not that good when there's just the one. It's also useful if an enemy is casting a big spell and there's many Moonlocks. You can get rid of a bunch. I missed there. You can get rid of a bunch of them, you know, in a single move. So this idea is that spells are not only about dealing damage; they also give you utility, you know, and they have a use in how you do your strategy. The old strategy. Also, maybe one last thing then, I guess. You know how... So in the demo you won't have access to that feature right off the bat. You eventually unlock it because it's needed to activate some mechanism. But eventually, so in the game you get control on the time of day, right? Which technically doesn't actually advance time. It's more like you're moving the sun in the sky. So that's in real time with the two triggers. You can move it, you know, forward. And you can move it back as well, you know, and so you can see all the dynamic shadows going on here on pretty much everything. And so there's things like, you know, so you can make it dead of night if you want, you know, and there's going to be items or relics in the game. See, there's bioluminescence here on the vegetation in the water. And so these things, so you'll be doing, you know, puzzles. Well, not necessarily puzzles, but you know, things like, oh, there's a crystal and you can drive a beam through it, and you're kind of orienting the time of day so that it hits a mirror, you know, and things like that, which can sound annoying, but we try to do it in a way that's very lean and just to give you the satisfaction of you know, using your powers. So let me make it so the bridge here is a good example of the seamless thing. Is like you can actually jump down as it's coming up and then climb back, you know, and then you can just run on it. So yeah, so I would say, you know, we're pretty happy with our character controller, as we call it, all the options that you have there. See here, that's a thing you may remember from the trailer. So this big head here, you can't really do anything about it, but if you bring the knight, the rune activates, and then you can sort of use your powers to open it and then see, you know, see what's inside. It could be some epic loot. Ah yes, nighttime with the we have some reflection going in the water as well. So, you know, climbing, walking on ledges, going behind the waterfall. But I guess you can do that yourself. So yeah, I think that's it for the quick look at Sea of Stars. We thank you all for the hype and the support. We hope you're excited. You'll get to play this hands-on. This is the first area of 3. In the demo, there's story in there. There's a heavy use of spoiler tags to make sure that once you do get to play the game, because this is cut out of sort of like the middle portion roughly of the game in terms of the areas and everything, but we made you level 1 here so that you get some progression. You can upgrade your weapons by finding sun shards and moon shards and things like that. Yeah, so I think that's it. Hope you enjoyed this quick look. We'll take 2 or 3 minutes. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat, and I'll do my best, even though I'm terrible with the chat. Oh, you have the nighttime music as well, right? Will there be tracks by Yasunori Mitsuda in the demo? No! All the music you will hear in the demo is from Eric W. Brown. But in terms of Mitsuda, for those who don't know, Yasunori Mitsuda is Chrono Trigger's composer. And, well, he joined the team. And so, as a guest composer. And I mean, that's very much alive and well, and you will be able to hear some of his original compositions in Sea of Stars, but he won't be in the demo. But there will be music from him for sure, and in the official soundtrack and all of that. That's certainly something you can look forward to. What's the biggest thing you're good about the game, but now love? I mean, we don't really argue on features and gameplay. There was some doubt on the idea of like being able to hoist and climb and touch everything, because that could easily become a task, you know, if the animation plays too slow, or if it's super, it can be like it can easily be frustrating, you know, that your input, it does things you don't want it to, and all of that. But it came along pretty nicely and actually shaped up as being one of the core things to the game, you know, to provide this sense of adventure, that it's a mix of you know, moving around and exploring in ways that are more engaging than just running around and with the occasional ladder. And then mixing that in with combat creates a thing where you're like, okay, yeah, we really actually did explore this place and discover things, you know, in ways that are hopefully interesting. But again, you can let us know. Can you multiplayer the 2 characters? So we hit a stretch goal on Kickstarter, which was for single player plus. And so what single player plus is it's not exactly 2-player, right? So single player plus, you can think of perhaps Super Mario Galaxy or even the new Brothers. It's in a way that there's a main player that controls the camera and all of that, and then the other one is more of an assist, you know, like they get to run around and jump around, and they can still do some actions, and they can still be meaningful, but we're not getting into like the camera is blocked because the other one won't follow or things like that. So the main character is triggering the cutscenes, everything that has to do with like the combat. You can probably the plus player can also trigger combat. I mean, we'll see. It sounds like it's something we should probably have in there, but that will be a patch that we work on just right after the game releases. And also we'll have so some puzzles in the game will be more enjoyable if you have 2 players. And also we'll have a bonus dungeon, actually, which is already confirmed as a free update that will be rolling out after the game, that we'll start working on, after the main game releases. And it's called the Halls of Cooperation, and it's essentially a hidden dungeon that will come out of the water, that if you basically did everything in the game, you now have access to that. And it will be designed to be, you can still do it as a single player, but it will be more enjoyable in the single player plus experience, you know. So it will be less about scrolling the screens and more like set pieces that you can each like hold on to something to open up. You probably have a good gut feeling of where we're going with this. So we'll be serving, you know, a hearty slice of that without wanting to hinder, you know, the whole game. So I hope that answers that question. So yeah, I think that's it for now. I am now moving on to my regular coffee break. So for those who don't know, a couple times a week I stream. I just play some random games, sometimes some hidden, obscure ones, sometimes some NES games, and sometimes some things that I haven't played for like 25 years that don't necessarily hold up, you know. We just do that for 30 minutes to an hour, and then we call it. So we'll go offline now so that the VOD for what relates to Sea of Stars people can still access easily. And then we'll come back up in not even 3 minutes I'm playing Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers on NES today. So thanks for tuning in, and feel free to hit us up on the Discord if you have any more questions. We're always there, and always happy to take every and all questions. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.